Inside this Worcester factory, the sound of steel shaping steel hasn't changed much in nearly a century. It all started with Henry St. Pierre, a Vermont farmer looking for a better way to work.
He lived in Vermont on a farm, and he got tired of getting stuck in the mud and snow.
After moving to Worcester, St. Pierre purchased another farm and in 1920 created a new business, manufacturing tire chains.
This is one of my dad's inventions.
A lifelong innovator, the story wouldn't end there.
My dad was thinking, inventing things all the time. I think he had close to 100 patents in his name.
During World War II, production surged.
During the war, we made anchor chain for like submarines and landing craft, and we made 27 million pounds of anchor chain.
But their contributions went beyond function. Recognizing the need for recreation during downtime, the Army made a special request, one that would become a defining hallmark of the company and a tradition that continues today.
We're now the largest and the only manufacturer of pitching horseshoes that actually forges their shoes.
General Manager Peter St. Pierre, Ed's son and third generation, says the company remains family-run and continues to forge ahead.
Most of my summer jobs were here. My very first job was painting a lot of the warehouse.
He is one of several family members involved in the business, carrying on both the legacy and the art of the horseshoe, a process that begins here.
We bring raw steel in here, 20-foot length, and we cut it into about 2-foot lengths, and those 2-foot lengths eventually become not only the horseshoes, but the stakes.
The next step brings the heat.
After that, a operator of the forging press grabs the horseshoe with a pair of tongs. He puts it in the first stage, which bends it into a U, and then he takes it from the first stage and puts it into the second stage, which is an impression die, which forms the horseshoe and puts lettering on the horseshoe. And from there, there's excess around the shoe. He then brings it over to a trimmer to trim the excess, and then we have the basic form of the horseshoe.
While some companies manufacture the shoes using molten pores, he says forging results in a product built to last.
It's increasing the density, so it's a very strong horseshoe, and when it hits that stake over and over, it doesn't break. It's really kind of a lifelong horseshoe. So after it's forged and it cools, the shoe has scale on it and a couple of layers that can flake off easily. So we need to put that through a wheel abrader machine, which shot blasts the shoe so that it's clean enough so that we can paint it.
Before we progress, I wouldn't be doing my job unless I got some tips from the experts. Summer is coming, after all.
How do you actually throw a horseshoe?
Well, there's a number of different ways to throw it. There's people who flip them. Sometimes they put their thumb against here, and they'll just make an arch, kind of like a bowling swing.
Good.
But the really good players, where they hold it on the side, and they flip it so that it turns 1 1/4 or 1 3/4.
Peter St. Pierre says the real players here are the employees, many of whom have logged decades with the company. Jose Maribel is going on 40 years.
When did you start working here?
I was 19 years of age.
Jose manages safety, but he says the St. Pierre family's entrepreneurial mindset drives innovation on the floor.
You kind of came up with these hangers and everything.
Oh, yeah. They used to have hangers here that they used to weigh too much, and then when the paint get on them, it's harder to clean. So I came up with an idea using clothes hangings.
The hangers move the cleaned and polished horseshoes into a bath of colored powder.
And then into a 500-degree oven for about 25 to 30 minutes, where the powder actually turns to a liquid and then cools to a finished coated surface.
From a presidential pastime enjoyed by both Harry Truman and George H.W. Bush, who were known to toss these Worcester-made gems, to smart diversification, the company has remained standing in what was once a thriving industrial city.
So So the pitching horseshoes remain an important part of their business, of course, but St. Pierre today known really more for their wire and their chain work.
Yeah, many of the construction cranes that you see around the state rely on cables made by St. Pierre to hold up that heavy equipment, including cables that were used to build the Zachem Bridge.
Oh, that's very nice. Those are important.